Happy Friday, February 10th, 2023. Got a little co-host today. She's hopping around, trying to mitigate all the dangers that might be going on in this DigiByte right now. I've got it on cruise control, but I've got the dogs with me today. Dropped my daughter off at school, got the dogs in the car. Every dog has its day, and today, Friday, these dogs have their day. This one's Franny. You'll see Franny hopping around. Tilly's over here being good. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yes. Hey, get your money out of the banks. Holy cow, man, that was a semi that went by. Almost blew the DigiByte off the road. Jeez. Dogs jumped. No, get your money out of the banks. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling, right? I never do though. So you never know. I don't have any inside information, nothing like that, to where I think that, you know, your money's going to get locked up in the bank or anything. However, it's a very high possibility. Very possible. What's going on in, what is it, Nigeria? Where they're trying to go to a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. They're trying to withdraw cash out of the system. And people are not happy. See, they dry run all this stuff everywhere else before ultimately they want to take down the big dog. And who's the big dog? The big dog is over here. No, the big dog is the United States of America. Well, of course, not these United States of America. That would indicate or imply that they are individual sovereign entities. No, they don't want to say these United States. They want to say the United States, referring to it as a whole, as a corporation, if you will. But that is the plan. They want to completely milk you, take everything away from you. And what better way to do that and lose confidence in the system than to have banks collapse? And if the banks collapse, and you got money in there, what happens to your money? Oh, it's FDIC insured, $250,000. I don't even know if it's $250,000. I wouldn't know because I have nowhere near that. It used to be $100,000 insurance. Then it was $250,000. She's like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" Then it was $250,000. I don't know if it's still $250,000 to where, you know, the FDIC insures it, insures your money. The thing is, the FDIC has a fund, and it barely insures anybody if we have a collapse. If we have a big bank go under, it's not going to be enough money. All the depositors will not be made whole. So at that point, you got two options. You have what's called a bail-in. In other words, your money gets taken to help make the bank solvent, and that's legal. Congress passed that. And that's one option. You basically lose and become a shareholder. Well, you really are a shareholder of the bank when you put your money in because of that. But you become a shareholder of the bank and share all its liabilities at that point. So they take all your money to help pay for them. Or two, Congress steps in and just prints a bunch of money up. Which, I don't know. So we've got an interesting Congress right now, an interesting House of Representatives that might not happen. But what that does ultimately, it allows or it paves the way to change the system. It upsets the apple cart and it says, well, yeah, the old system, it had its flaws. It's been around for a long time. That banking system needs to change. So let's introduce this new thing that's much more secure, much more safe. It's called a CBDC. It's a central bank digital currency. Secured by blockchain. And the thing is, when people say blockchain, it covers a lot of things. A blockchain can be crap. It's only as good as its code. So Bitcoin, Litecoin especially, you know, Litecoin's been running for over 11 years, never had a failure, doesn't, you know, always sends value, 100% uptime. That's a solid blockchain. Now you've got other blockchains, I won't mention any, that have to be restarted occasionally. The developers go in and say, oh, we got to tweak something, get it back running again. It's not a very good blockchain. And if you have a government blockchain where there's a CBDC riding on top of it, I guarantee it's going to be centralized. Oh wait, is it in the name? Yeah, it is. Central bank digital currency. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. So a central bank digital currency. Once that happens and you're in that system, they can control everything. They can control all your money. They'll be able to shut off the blockchain. They'll shut off your account, put limits on your account, put time limits on the account. Hey, you got 90 days to spend this. We need to get this money in the economy. You can't just be sitting on it, saving it. No, because they don't want savers. They don't want people to save. They want you to take risk. Put it in the stock market. Invest in this, invest in that, invest in housing. They want you to be risky in this environment. They want that money to move. They want to put that money to work. Because if you save the money, they can't control you. You've got it in your possession. Well, I shouldn't say you have it in your possession, but you've got the money. When it's saved up, it's not something that they just don't want to see that. They don't want savers. Because listen, if you save your money, I'm trying to get to the point. If you save your money, that gives you a certain level of freedom, doesn't it? But if you're living paycheck to paycheck and taking out loans and you've got payments for everything that you supposedly have in your possession. I got car payments, I got a house payment, I got a loan out for my business, I got this, I got that. If you have that going on, then all it takes for them is to say, hey, let's make the money a little bit tighter. Let's raise interest rates. Let's make it more difficult to access money. So then you're like, well, shoot, there's not as much money in circulation. People aren't buying my goods for my business. I'm kind of in trouble here. I'm in a pinch. I need more money moving. Well, there's not enough money moving. And so you're like, am I going to have enough to make these payments on these bills? Shoot, I'll let that one lapse and I can make these. And pretty soon you miss a few, that's all, folks. You miss a few payments and they come after what you were paying on. See, they'll come repossess the car. It doesn't matter if you paid 75% of the loan down. They'll come take the car. Same with a property, house. It doesn't matter if you've got one payment to go. If you can't make it, they can come take your house. They can come take your vehicle. They want to put you in that position to where you never own anything. We don't want some guy with money sitting on the sidelines that can invest it and, do what he wants with it and buys his own freedom with it. We can't control him. We don't want somebody that has all their stuff paid off. And see, they make it even more hard, and it's an insidious system, because what happens is you work, you pay off your house, pay off all your vehicles, you own all your stuff. But then you still got to license the vehicle every year, because if you don't have the sticker on it that says that it's been, paid, the little envelope's been paid to the boss, when that doesn't happen, in this state anyway, I know, in Illinois, if you've got a vehicle sitting in your driveway, you live out in the middle of nowhere, it's sitting on your property that you've bought and paid for, but you don't have a valid sticker on it, that thing can be ticketed. It's crazy. It's not a licensed vehicle. So that's what you get into. You think you own it, but then you got to pay the grease fee, the juice to the boss, just to, have people leave you alone. That's really what it is. And the same with property taxes. You own your property, right? You paid it off, don't owe the bank, don't owe anybody on it. You have it, you got the deed, your name on it and everything. Stamps from the courthouse, all that stuff. And then you don't pay the property tax. You could have $500,000 house. You don't pay the property tax, they're going to come take it. And they're pretty quick about it too. I know people that, in Illinois, or in this county anyway, you got 2 tax installments. Usually the tax bill comes out May every year for the prior year. And then you've got 2 payments to make. You've got one due like in June, half of it. Then the other half's due in September. Now, if you're not paid up, you can pay your June payment and not pay the September payment. And say you're late and okay, it's a late fee if I pay in October. Okay, I'll pay in November, whatever, get the late fee. If you go to November, they start the proceeding to repo your house, take your house. It's a tax sale. They will do it. And people buy that. There are corporations out there, they just, anytime there's a tax sale, they'll go pay for the taxes. And then you've got so much time to make them up, and, I don't know. It's a longer process, maybe a year and a half or something, that you've got the ability to, buy your taxes back, I guess you could say. But somebody could get your house for a half of a tax bill if you don't pay it. You've paid all that money into a property. You think you own that property, and then you fail to make a payment on a tax bill, and it goes long enough, they will take that property from you. Someone else will take it. The county just wants their money, and they're going to take your property because they don't get their money. I mean, that's pretty bad when that kind of thing happens. When you've got a sheriff that enforces that. They usually call it like a sheriff's sale, sheriff tax sale. I mean, come on. This is totally ridiculous. Needs to be a better way. What's the answer? I don't know. But we need to start thinking of another way to fund counties, to fund the government, or just say, you know what? We don't need all these services anymore. It's going to have to get a little rougher. But at least when I own my stuff, I own my stuff. I mean, we got to prioritize a little bit is really what it comes down to. We've got a wall in the United States, wide open. Border wall. Meanwhile, we've got drugs pouring in. We've got illegal trafficking going on. Any kind of trafficking is not right. I shouldn't say illegal trafficking. I was going somewhere else with it. I got to be careful what I say because, I might get fact checked. I'm talking smack here and get a strike or something. A baseball game. Strike out. But you've got, it's just absolutely absurd. All the money that gets created, all the billions that get created, and you can't even protect your borders. You pay for other countries to protect their borders, but you can't even protect your own. What a fraud system we are living in. And then we've got a mafia boss in chief that orders a hit on a pipeline that supplies energy from one country to another, sovereign countries. That's an act of war. But see, I'm the boss, I got the military, control the money. Do you want to participate in the banking system and make payments back and forth the easy way, or you want to do it the hard way? You want to use the US dollars, do it the easy way? Or do you want to try and get out of that and use gold or something? That's the hard way. And you're going to learn the hard way at that point, because we will direct weapons at you. Climate, energy, financial, all kinds of different weapons that we control. We'll direct them your way to teach you a little lesson. You play ball, we're going to break some kneecaps. We're going to bust some knuckles. If you continue to not play the game, you might be swimming with the fishes. This is what we're dealing with. And I don't want to be so flamboyant about it, and flippant about it, but it's true. This is exactly what we're dealing with. If we would just realize that everything we watch in the movies, they're telling us exactly how it is and how things are done. We think, oh, that's acting and this and that, but that's what's happening. It's exactly what's happening. Guy comes in, he says, hey, you got the money for the week? And, the bartender slides it over. See you next week. Windows don't get broken out. Place doesn't get torched. Nobody bothers it. Except for the people who want their money. If they don't get their money, they're going to take your property. Don't pay your tax. They're going to come take it. Something bad might happen. Accident, it's no joke. This is what we're dealing with. It's gotten too big. The racket has become too big, and there are too many players in it who have a stake in it and a vested interest in it to make it continue. So we got to pull the plug. We got to get out of it. We got to figure out how to get out of it. I keep preaching about Litecoin. I mean, is that the only answer? No. The SEC just the other day, see, this is the thing. They're going to clamp down. They're going to scare everybody out of crypto. Why would they do that? Why would they want to do that? Why would they, want to fear you out of investing in crypto or putting your energy in crypto? Because it's a system that's outside of theirs. It's a system that allows you to make a choice. Hey, I want to be free. I want to use the money that I want. I don't care if it's garbage. This other guy thinks it's fine too. You might all think it's garbage, but my group says, hey, we'll exchange value in it. I see the price of eggs. The wholesale price of eggs is down like 50%. See, we've hit peak egg. to where it, you know, it got really high and it had all the mainstream coverage. And see, this is a good lesson. It's a perfect lesson, actually. As soon as the mainstream is doing stories and going to the grocery store and saying, you know, and then you've got an egg alert on the radio, hey, this store's got it cheaper than this store. Same with the gasoline, the fuel. As soon as the news is like sending reporters out, you know, on site to show you, this is the cheapest gas station in town, you can get it for $5.09. You know, it's the same thing with the eggs. You sent reporters out, oh, they've got the cheapest eggs here. And these are, look at the price of these, oh, $15 a dozen. As soon as that happens, as soon as that hype happens and everybody's talking about it, that's the time it's going to go the other way. You know you've hit the peak. And sure enough, prices are starting to come down. Wholesale prices are down 50%. So you got to realize the manipulation that's going on. And so I say it's important because this is the way it is in all markets. And if you can train yourself to see this and be objective and not be emotional and not be passionate about it, here's what you do. Same thing's going to happen in the crypto market if you're investing in crypto. Everyone will be talking about it. All the reporters, oh, it's it, oh, look at the prices. Oh, everybody's going to be talking about it. At that point, you know you're close to the peak and there's going to be a correction. It's going to dump, basically. That's the time you might want to go against the herd a little bit and prepare, because it's gonna come down. I mean, that's just the way it is, because it's all human emotion. See, the human emotion has hit a peak. It's whipped up to a certain peak to where everybody's talking about it. When that happens, you know, all right, it's going to come down. Might not be tomorrow. It's going to come down, though. We're hitting the peak. So, you know, if you're an investor, you know, and you're a gambler, you say, all right, I'm going to sell it. And then you wait for it to come down and then you buy it. I mean, it's just a cycle that repeats in all markets because it's human beings. It's how we are. Get all FOMO'd up, fear of missing out. I got to get in. Oh, did you see the price? I need to order all the chickens I can and produce my own eggs. Next thing you know, you got all these chickens like, oh man, I got a coop, I got a fence, I got coyotes, I got to feed them, the feed's no good. What am I going to do? And now the price of eggs are down and you're like, I should have just went and waited and bought some eggs. You know, now I got all this overhead. You know, but it is good to be independent. But that's what happens. You know, it's human emotion and it goes in cycles. So you'll have peak chicken and then it'll go down and people will be giving them away. So, I don't want these chickens, take them. That's just how markets are. And that's, if you can see that, then you don't get gamed, because that's all they want to do. They're going to fleece you. They're going to pump it up. And then the insiders, you know, they're like, all right, sell it. All right, sell it all. You know, it's like pork bellies, you know, orange juice futures, watch trading places. It's the kind of thing that happens. I mean, it's no joke. Aaron Rousseau, the guy, I think he was the director, the producer of Trading Places. He had a documentary on the income tax and the IRS. Go look up Aaron Rousseau. I think it's 2 A's, two S's, Rousseau. And he had a friend who was a member of one of the elite families that basically told him it's all a fraud. I mean, we're just extracting wealth out of people so that they can't get ahead, basically. It's just a giant fiefdom. I mean, they live in the castle, they're the vampire, and then we're out here not knowing what goes on in the castle. But if we did, we'd be like, what the? Are you serious? And they show us once in a while. You watch the Grammys and you see the little rituals that take place, and it's like, oh, it's just, it's no big deal. It's just, you know, we're being funny. No big deal. Then you watch the Disney movies, you know, and you see all the images and some of the behaviors, and you think it's kind of ritualistic, and some of those images don't really look very nice to be showing kids. And then you think, oh, it's probably just an accident. No, it's all by design. All of it is by design to entrain your mind. All of it. So realize that. Just realize that. Just realize the whole thing's a script. The whole thing is a big studio and we're watching it all. The key is not to participate in it. I mean, yeah, you kind of are at some level. All the world's a stage. All the men and women merely players. I mean, yes, that is the case. But you can choose to, once you understand it, then you can choose to disconnect from it and not participate emotionally and spiritually in it. You got to get to that level to where it's like, okay, yeah, sometimes, you know, your parents at some point, they're saying, hey, I want to make sure you understand me. You understand me. Yes. And then you go off and do what you want. And then they're happy. Living in ignorance is bliss. I mean, you've done that to employers. You've done that to teachers, parents, to where, they tell you something and you just go, yeah. And if you're agreeable, get in an argument, they're like, okay, cool. I made my point. And they go away happy. And then you go do what you want. Then it's done. Everybody's happy. And that's what you got to do in this whole thing, this whole theater that we're dealing with. I mean, they tell you to do something, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Just be agreeable and go on and do what you want and figure out how to put a wrench into the whole system. Break the cogs and the wheels to slow it down because it's a giant machine. And you can't just bring it down all at once. You got to slowly whittle away. Oh, let's take this out and see what happens. Let's stick this in there and see what happens. And pretty soon, it's still grinding, but it just starts to smoke. Then little pieces of it start to spark. That's what has to happen. You're just like, oh, okay, sure, I'll take care of that. And then clink, and then walk away. So you realize the game, and you realize I got to be free somehow. So how do I do it? Okay, and you think you got to think everything's energy. Everything I have to offer comes from energy. There's Tilly making an appearance. Look she has no hair. We cut her down. You give kisses? No, you're not a big kisser. She says, I want to go out though. So I'll wrap this up. Happy hour, everything's energy. My point is everything's energy. You give your energy to everything. Think of all the things you do on a daily basis and how that's positive or negative toward the ultimate goal. Is it serving light or is it serving darkness? And you look at that at the most minute level, everything you purchase, every time you do something, is it serving the light and the betterment of humanity, or is it serving darkness and the benefit of vampires? Ask yourself that every action you take and every bit of energy that you use. And then make changes accordingly. And trust yourself. That's all you got to do. Trust yourself, girl. Today is happy hour. 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Might be a little later, who knows? It just depends how the day goes. But that's the scheduled time. The regularly scheduled program is 4 p.m. Central Time. I've got a cigar. My dad gave me some cigars he found. I put them in the humidor, and I'm going to try one today. See how it is. Gave me some cigars for the birthday. I'll try that out, see how that's going. Maybe have a little scotch that's pretty old, because I didn't do anything for my birthday, really. It's kind of an eventful time. I'll talk about it in happy hour. So I may have a drink to celebrate my birthday today. Hey, I know you want to go outside. I know. All right. Love y'all. Trust yourselves. Dogs are a good thing to kind of, keep you human. I don't know what to call it. But, yeah, interesting creatures to have around. Kind of keep you thinking on a different level. All right. Love you all. Hope to see you at happy hour. Trust yourselves. Always trust yourselves. That's the key to all of this. Look inward. All the answers are there. Realize you're something greater than they want to tell you. All right. Don't trust the vampires. Exit their casino. Trust yourself. And look into Litecoin. All right. Love you all. Hope to see you on happy hour. Have a great Friday.